Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Savannah Chrisley still blames Lindsie for parents' prison time. Savannah Chrisley still blames her older sister, Lindsie Chrisley, for their parents being sent to prison. Todd and Julie Chrisley started serving their respective sentences in January 2023. Despite them being responsible for their own actions, Savannah is playing the blame game. Read on for more details. Savannah Chrisley still blames Lindsie for parents' prison time. It has been over a year since Todd and Julie Chrisley went off to prison. Todd is serving his over-decade-long sentence in Pensacola, Florida. As for Julie, she is serving her time in Kentucky, and they cannot really communicate with one another. Daughter Savannah Chrisley has admitted to being their go-between and has relayed messages of love for her parents. Their sentences have already been cut slightly, but the hope is to have them come home even sooner. While all of this is transpiring, Savannah has been blaming her older sister, Lindsie Chrisley, for their serving time. According to Savannah, she has claimed that Lindsie worked for the government. She spoke out on the Viles podcast about this, saying of her sister, "She was very heavily involved with my parents' court case, was working with the government." A Reddit thread was recently started to discuss the fact that Savannah cannot stop blaming her sister for what went down. The OP shared a clip from @TeamOmFans. The comment was that it was so wrong for Savannah to go on a podcast and blame Lindsie for putting their parents in prison. Savannah simply said that the truth is the truth. Immediately, fellow Redditors had a lot to say about this battle. Lindsie snaps back. Followers appeared to believe a few things. One was that Todd and Julie Chrisley were responsible for their own actions. The next was that both Lindsie and Savannah Chrisley needed to grow up and act like adults because this was too much petty drama. Finally, there was a tendency to think Lindsie was right in this situation. Savannah should not talk badly about her sister consistently. This led Lindsie to clap back after seeing her comment about the truth is the truth. She suggested that Savannah phone her rather than post all over the internet. In the humid glow of a Nashville summer, Savannah Chrisley sat cross-legged on the balcony of her high-rise apartment, her gaze fixed on the horizon. The sunset bled streaks of orange and lavender across the sky. But her mind wasn't on the beauty. It rarely was these days. Her thoughts circled like vultures over one name, Lindsie. Though months had passed since Todd and Julie Chrisley reported to federal prison for their bank fraud and tax evasion convictions, Savannah's resentment remained as sharp as ever. Time hadn't softened her. If anything, the silence between her and her half-sister had grown louder, thicker, harder to ignore. "I tried to forgive," Savannah admitted during a candid podcast episode of Unlocked, her voice strained with emotion. "But every time I close my eyes, all I can see is the moment it all started to fall apart." And Lindsie was at the center of it. The betrayal, in Savannah's eyes, was not just personal, it was nuclear. Years before the trial, Lindsie Chrisley had distanced herself from the family, citing emotional abuse and toxic dynamics. But what Savannah couldn't get past was how, when the heat turned up, Lindsie had handed matches to the prosecutors. She aligned herself with the enemy, Savannah said bitterly. She didn't just walk away from the family, she ran straight into the arms of anyone who could bring us down. Though Lindsie had denied any formal role in her parents' conviction, court documents revealed that she had cooperated with authorities early on, even if begrudgingly. For Savannah, that was enough. Testifying against your family, especially your own father, was the ultimate betrayal. Behind closed doors, the Chrisley home had always been chaotic, layered with secrets, laughter, manipulation, and love. It was a Southern soap opera, and Savannah had played the role of the dutiful daughter to perfection. Lindsie, on the other hand, had walked off set. "She never wanted to be part of us," Savannah once confided to her close circle. "She wanted the perks, the cameras, the money. But when it got real, she bolted," and say the rift between the sisters had been widening for years, but prison made it permanent. While Savannah had taken on the burden of caring for her younger siblings and navigating media appearances, Lindsie had resumed her quiet life in Atlanta, avoiding the press like the plague. She sends thoughts and prayers from the sidelines, Savannah scoffed during a recent media interview. But where was she when Grayson had a breakdown? Where was she when Chloe asked why Papa is gone? Savannah's hurt wasn't just rooted in justice or loyalty, it was deeply maternal. She had become the caretaker, the fierce protector of a family shattered by headlines and cell blocks. And in her mind, Lindsie had helped swing the hammer that broke them. Julie's letters from prison were laced with encouragement, always urging Savannah to let go of hate, to focus on healing. God sees everything, Julie wrote. Let him judge. Don't let this consume you. But Savannah wasn't ready to listen. She wasn't the one sitting in that courtroom where they brought up Lindsie's emails. Savannah told a friend over wine. She didn't feel the weight of the betrayal like I did. Like we all did. Insiders say Lindsie has tried, quietly, to extend olive branches. There were text messages, voicemails, even a bouquet of white lilies left at Savannah's door on Julie's birthday. But they were met with silence. Or, worse, sarcasm. Lilies? Savannah had said, holding the card between her fingers. What is this, an apology or a funeral arrangement? Despite the public's mixed reaction, Savannah's fans largely rallied behind her. Many pointed out that Lindsie had long positioned herself as the outsider, even before legal troubles struck. On message boards and fan forums, debates raged about loyalty, family, and forgiveness. But Savannah remained unmoved. Her stance was carved in grief and anchored in fierce love for her parents. I may not have a perfect family, she said on a recent Instagram Live, but I have a family. I'm standing by my mom and dad until the end. I won't make excuses for anyone who turned their back on them. Meanwhile, Lindsie remained conspicuously quiet. She had chosen not to respond publicly to Savannah's remarks, preferring, it seemed, to rebuild her life away from the drama. But sources close to her say she's heartbroken. She thought maybe, just maybe, the shared pain would bring them back together, said a mutual acquaintance. But Savannah's fury is ice cold. As summer turns to fall, Savannah's focus is shifting. She's launching a nonprofit aimed at supporting children of incarcerated parents, inspired by closed questions and her own sleepless nights. She's also shopping around a memoir, one that will, undoubtedly, include her version of what tore the Chrisley family apart. I'm not writing to destroy anyone, she told the journalist. I'm writing to tell the truth, my truth, and it doesn't include sugarcoating what Lindsie did. Some say there's still hope for reconciliation. That time may dull the edges of betrayal. Others believe the divide is too deep, the wounds too raw. But for now, Savannah Chrisley stands firm in her belief. Her half-sister didn't just walk away from the family. She helped bury it.